Hello and welcome to the Brabham Royale. Now you might be wondering, why are we starting at Stage 7, Race 3? Because this is the race that makes all the difference. Look at my target speed there, 329.9. Now upgrade costs are coming up very soon, just in a couple of minutes here. But I want you to see this to see why I'm about to tell you what I'm going to tell you. Right now I've got all level 3 upgrades except for suspension, where I've only got level 1. And check this out. I'm going past the curb. I didn't know that wasn't off track over there. Like this I knew about, but not that back there. You can't be off track for this race. So look at this. I'm maximizing this. Like there's no way you're going to get more speed than what I'm getting. Like maybe 1 or 2 tenths of a kilometer per hour, but that's about it. So I want you to see how fast I can hit with this, which obviously wasn't enough, or else we'd be seeing a green banner. 326.11. Okay, now watch what happens as I add an upgrade. Okay, because a lot of people don't realize this. I'm adding just one upgrade. I'm going to skip the R dollars for now. Remember 329.9? Look, 327.1. Buying upgrades lowers targets. It also makes the bots easier. A lot of people don't realize that. Buying upgrades doesn't just make you faster, because how's suspension going to make me much faster on something like this? Right? Like maybe I took the entrance to the speedway a little bit faster. Not much. Arguably, not really. So it lowered the target speed, which I still can't hit. And I tried that a whole bunch of times. Forget about it. 326.26, that's the fastest I could go. And so there's just no way I was going to make it. So I bought another upgrade. So here we are, 21 of 28 upgrades. And look at that, 325.7. Well, we already know I can do this. Especially now that I've added more upgrades, it should be easier. So let's get on to the upgrade costs, okay? Well, this is playing in the background. All level 3 upgrades will cost you 1,252,000 R dollars and 380 gold. You get back 175,000 R dollars and 50 gold for a final cost of 1,077,000 R dollars, 330 gold. And check it out, going across the line here, no trouble at all. Boom, green banner, yahoo! Now, there's more to it than just this race. But I'm telling you, you've got to get those upgrades. You might as well buy them right off the start. But let's go back here a little bit. Let's go back to stage 3, where I've only got 7 of 28 upgrades. You still need to follow the rules of win by small amounts, okay? You got to follow those rules. If not, you're going to be facing an even higher speed target than I faced. The first time I did this event, my speed target was lower than what we just saw. So if you're not careful, you're going to have to buy more than level 3 upgrades. So here, I was doing good bot slowing, so my norm was manageable. The first time I did this event back in update 8.6, my norm was impossible, and I had to buy enough upgrades to be at recommended PR so I could slow him down. So here we go, I'm going to nicely gain on norm. Now what I'm going to do at the next corner is I'm actually going to brake earlier than I should, so I can get hooked up. You don't want to bash him. When you bash him, it gives him a little bit of a boost, and he'll start to wag back and forth to lose you, so you just lose the draft. Now, I'll hook up with him pretty soon. He's going to start hitting the brakes. See, there we go. So this norm is not very difficult. Oop, tagged him a little bit there. So you got to anticipate that he's going to brake. He really overbrakes at the top of the mountain here. It's very surprising, actually. And so I'm really trying to, I don't want to hit him. I think I'm not supposed to get damaged in this event. Pretty sure I'm not supposed to get damaged. So there we go. I timed it so that I was a little bit late to the throttle. Got all my drafting in. So now all I have to do is overtake him, which could be tricky. He's really taking off on me, but this Brabham, I love this car. It is such a balanced race car. So I'll probably have to catch him at the last corner. I'll really gain on him nicely here though. So I'll get under him. And then just be very careful with my braking. Very nice. And here I'm not going to win by very much. So you got to win by small amounts. We're going to zoom through this pretty quick. Stage 4, race 2. This one is a little bit tricky. I've got 13 of 28 upgrades. 10,000 meters of slipstreaming, slipstreaming. And now you guys know that's not actually meters, right? Guys who frequent my channel, they know exactly what the unit of measurement is, which makes no sense. When I asked the head developer about this back when it was Fire Monkeys, he was just confused. He's like, what? They didn't do this. but they can never change it because it would ruin these events. 10,000 of actual meters would be impossible at this track. Well, it'd be very, very hard to pull this off. So I've got to get all this slipstreaming in, and I've got to win. So you can't waste a lot of time behind anybody. You'll notice I was taking some off-track cuts there. That's necessary if you have just these upgrades. Now again, I would recommend you might as well go up to level 3 upgrades right away. And then just really be careful that you don't overdrive it. Like, still finish with the minimum. Ooh, that's a mistake. That's costly. You want to finish with, do as little as you have to do. So if it says finish in at least 8th place, only finish in 8th place, etc. I'm driving kind of sloppy. You'd think this is going to be really easy. This is actually really difficult. So I'm going to follow Michael here for a little bit. Not for long, though. Michael's pretty fast. That's an FXXK Evo, I believe, not just a regular FXXK. Although the difference between the regular FXXK and Evo isn't very much. They're very interesting. Ooh! Very interesting cars in that they pretty well hit their top speed without any assistance. One of the earlier cars to do that. The Apollo does that, but it came around a lot later. Yeah, I'm damaged. So, I gotta win this event. I want to catch this guy. I want to catch some lapped traffic because they're going to be driving slower. Now, I've got a whole lap to go. Got a lot of slipstreaming to get in. And Michael is going to be breathing on me in no time flat. This guy is really hammering on those brakes. So I want to be in a sandwich, in a slipstreaming sandwich. Here we go. Perfect. So Michael's going to push. He's going to help me to get reconnected here. Now what I need to do is manage Michael, give him the pit maneuver now and again, and then get back hooked up with this guy. Come on, Michael, let's go. Actually, you can follow Michael through the S's. That's this first section of corners. He drastically overbrakes. Bots do that. Michael's really fast, but he's drastically overbraking in the S's. So check it out. Check out all the slipstreaming I'm getting in. You guys know what unit of measure that is. You tell me. Just for the people who don't know, you're actually getting credited with 2.25 meters for every meter you drive, but I'm not going to tell you the unit of measurement. If you know what it is, put it in the comments. Ooh, majorly roughing up Michael here. Okay, well, let's see if we can rough up Michael. Uh-oh, that didn't work. Michael's getting away from me. Who do we have there? Bugatti. Oh, that's actually 3rd place. I've got to win this. Okay, well, I got to stay hooked up with Michael. This is going to get really dicey because Michael's going to take away, but we know... Oh, what is it called? I think it's called Spoon Corner. Is it not? I think this is called Spoon. He's going to really overbrake for Spoon, so I'm going to catch him here. Get some more slipstreaming in. And then, come on, let's get it in, let's get it in. Come on. He's going to get away on me, isn't he? Yep. 99.26. That's going to happen very quickly as I catch up to him at this corner coming up. And then I can blast by him at the last chicane. Or I can be nasty and let's send Michael into the wall. Here you go, Michael. Boom! Where'd Michael go? Oh, he's literally in the wall. He's not going to get out of that. Bots do not auto-extract. Okay, well, now I got to be careful of a Bugatti on my bumper. Uh-oh. No, that's a Koenigsegg. Oh, my. I better be careful. Woo, boy, give me a nice push, boy. There we go. Success with very low upgrades. Let's fast forward. Stage 5, race 3. This one's tricky. Even with more upgrades, you could have trouble here. The trick is to manage your fuel. You've got 1 minute and 10 seconds per lap, okay? This clock starts with 5 minutes and 50 seconds. You've got to get at least 5 laps. So do the math, right? That's 1 minute, 10 seconds per lap. And notice what I do here. Doing a lot of lifting and coasting, okay? So you don't need to do very much braking, mostly lifting and coasting. And that's going to get you pretty far. And I would suggest that you cut the corkscrew. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will show you. Obviously, we're only doing 1 lap here. I'm not going to show you the whole race. It's very long at 5 minutes and 50 seconds. Well, I mean, it's not that long. It's 5 minutes and 50 seconds. But you don't need to see the whole race. Coming up here is the corkscrew. Just cut through this. Get off the throttle, going through there. You don't want to be on the throttle when you're off track. You'll waste a lot of fuel. And, you know, we're coming to the end here. I still got a lot of fuel left over, honestly. And lots of time on the clock. You just have to get through. You got to get to the 6th lap. That's it. That's the requirement. And so here, I'm going to blast through this. Still have well over 20 seconds on the clock. And I realize that Magnus has I've got a massive lead on Magnus, way more than I need. So I thought, you know what? Or should I go forward? No, I should go backwards. So I decided I'm going to go backwards a little bit. You just have to get into the 6th lap. I can't remember if I have to win. So I thought, I'll just wait here. There we go. So we were at stage 6, race 2. Very difficult race. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I did need to add a couple of upgrades to pull this off. So there we go. A little bit more. Yeah, that'll be good enough. Right there. 17 of 28 upgrades. This is difficult. This would be a lot easier if you had 21 of 28 upgrades. I was making this really hard on myself. Very, 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 very difficult. I think this is the one where you can't be off track, is it not? Yeah, this one's really dicey. So I'm really... Oh, okay, obviously you can be off track because I just was, but maybe that's all you can do. No, this one you can be off track, I think. Anyway, gotta be careful. Sometimes it says no off track, and you can get a little bit. Obviously, that's off track. And so you'd think this is a lot easier than it is. This ain't easy. Sliding around on track will heat your tires up quicker. Sliding around off track will cool them off. You're gonna lose heat in your tires, so don't do that. So yeah, not an easy race. Oh, the car feels horrible with tires like this. It just feels just nasty. But I'm gonna get this done. I went up high to start and then came down low because the car is super loose coming out of this. Because at this point, I tagged that wall. At this point, it's basically all speed-related upgrades is what I have here. And blasting through this off track. It's definitely a risky maneuver. There's a Koenigsegg. I'm looking for a little bit of a tow. Didn't want to tag him. The Porsche is slowing down the Koenigsegg, which is perfect. Exactly what I want. Get under this guy. Still catching some... You see that? I had some side draft from him. So all of this has enabled him to pass the Porsche. Now I've got a lot more grip in me now. So there I've got myself up into 2nd place. Ooh, a little bit off track there. Yeah, definitely doesn't matter if you're off track for this particular stage. Michael still seems like he's a ways away, but watch this. Michael does very bad through that hairpin. Now he's driving off on me, but he's going to do very bad at the next hairpin. So 150, 140. Look at this. Look at me close this gap. A huge amount. That's a huge amount of gap closing. And then at this point, I didn't quite know how much I could push this, so I'm not pushing that as much as I could. But look at that. Very nice. Let's get under Michael here. I'm not going to get away, so I'm probably going to slice through the bus stop again. The bus stop is the chicane coming up here. They call it a bus stop because a section is perpendicular to the track. So that's what makes it a bus stop. You have to have like it's a 4-corner section. Blast through that bus stop off track. And then I'll let Michael catch up a little bit. I don't want a huge lead because we got to keep those targets low. You generally want to keep someone within about 20 meters of you when you're crossing the start-finish line. That's going to, like anytime you podium, it's going to increase the bot difficulty. But I'm making my podium very small here. Very tight finish there. Let's move on. Stage 6, race 4. And I'm going to do this one with 17 of 28 upgrades. Not easy. Very difficult to do this way. Again, I'd recommend you go up to 21 of 28 upgrades as soon as possible, right off the start. But do take it easy or it's going to get really difficult and you're going to have to buy more upgrades. So check this out. Not off track. Very close. Woo, boy, baby. This one's dicey. Look at that. Off track there. Obviously, off track's allowed. So the Koenigsegg got me back and the Porsche. This is tricky. If you have to be, you can't finish any lap in an odd number. So 2, 4, 6, 8. You've got to finish 1st or 3rd. I tell you what, if you finish lap 1 and 3rd, forget about it. That's it. Unless you have more upgrades, but not when I was doing it. So right now I'm in 3rd. That's not going to work. I need to be in 1st place at the end of this lap. We're not doing this whole race, by the way. We're just going to do 1 lap because that's all I need. I spent way too long on this race. I wasn't sure what the requirements were for this particular event, so I really pushed it. Check this out. I'm going to rough Michael up into the corners a little bit. Woo, boy! And rough him up a little bit more. There we go. That gets him out of the throttle. Let's zoom ahead to lap 4. And I got a nice lead. I'm going to let Michael catch up now. I had a lot of trouble getting here. Again, you don't need to sweat it as much as I did, but don't finish by big amounts. Okay, we're going to stage 7, and this is race 1. Clean race. Okay, so this one, I ended up needing more upgrades, as you can see. 19 of 28 upgrades at this point. And this is also a very difficult race. Starting with no heat in those tires. Gosh. And you got to get through this. So I opted to get a little bit of slipstream and go low. Then go high. And this one's all on track for sure. So check it out. Got to get through this really fast and really clean. Want to be in 3rd place as you're exiting this corner. I tried this many times without this many upgrades. This gave me just the slightest bit of an edge because it increased me and decreased them. Remember, you get rewarded when you buy upgrades. So it will make the competition slower. When you buy upgrades, it lowers the competition and lowers targets. So that's something you got to remember. It doesn't just make you faster, it makes the targets lower. That's why sometimes people think, oh, look at me, I'm so much faster when I bought upgrades. No, the bots got slower. You got a tiny bit faster, not very much. Okay, so this one's tricky because there's no off track allowed. So I've got to take this legit. So this is a difficult race. And that's why I'm going to show you this whole race, because even with all 3s for upgrades, some of you are going to find this very difficult. So I'm doing this with lower upgrades than you are probably. Now some of you will be able to do this with these upgrades, but again, it's not necessary. So they're driving off, but that's okay. My tires are heating up 65%. Once you get around 75, you can pretty much drive it like it's at 100%. Pretty close. I start treating it pretty normal at that point. Oop, I'm not getting back to the throttle at the optimal time there, but that's okay. So at this point, you can start driving it pretty normal. So I'm going to get under him. That's not off track, guys. Might have looked like it was. And I'm pretty sure that Ahmed is... pretty sure he's in a Venom. Pretty sure, if I remember correctly. So in some of the earlier stages of this, some of the earlier races of this event, the bots would be randomized as far as which car they would get into. Not for stage 6 and 7. It's definitely the same car every single time. And so that's good. That's one mistake that the new developers made in the McLaren Artura event, is that it was randomized bots. And if you got the wrong guys in the 600 LT, oh, forget about it. It was a horrible race. Anyhow, that's in the past. We'll leave that alone. And hopefully we see more. It was still kind of a cool event. It just kind of sucked for that reason. And here we go. I'm getting in the lead to the Venom. This is a no damage stage, so I'm going to have to be very careful. I'm roughing Ahmed up. So at this point, though, I'll have no trouble getting him in the 3rd lap. So I didn't try too hard to do the pit maneuver because I didn't want to get myself damaged and have to redo this event, this particular race, I should say. So here we go, braking pretty, getting on that throttle nicely. As you can see, I'm already gaining on Ahmed. He'll get away a little bit, but I'm going to really gain nicely here. Bots are always bad in the corners. Ooh, little tag there. Let's catch some slipstream and take out Ahmed in the hairpin. I don't think it should be a problem. Oh, look at that. He was braking at the entrance to the hairpin, which you might have to do in that car. It's a very fast car. It actually is a high grip car, but the speed is way out of measure with the grip because the grip is so insane in that car. I mean, the speed is so insane in that car, not the grip. Sorry, guys. Okay, so Ahmed's going to start gaining on me, but I'll lose him in the bus stop. He's going to have to brake way earlier than I will. I'm way more balanced than he has. In fact, the Brabham fully upgraded has almost the same grip as that Venom, but substantially less speed, so it feels so much better. And look at that. Back to the throttle, nice and early. Gapping Ahmed. I'll let him catch up at a point, but not too early because he is psychotically fast. I'm going to go high which will let him catch up a little bit. Ooh, he's gaining awful fast. Let's see what happens here at the finish line. This could be interesting. Ooh, boy, that's cutting. Whoa, there he is. That's kind of fun. All right, stage 7, race 4. This is surprisingly difficult with all level 3 upgrades. I was surprised. This is my one and only attempt doing this, well, since update 8.6. So no training. I'm just going for it, going for what I know. I know this is going to be difficult, so I'm going to push it. None of that's off track. So here I'm really pushing it. Even at all stage 3 upgrades, man, this car feels good. It really comes into its own. I was shocked how well I could take that hairpin. I'm very shocked at how well I can take the next hairpin. You're braking later than you think you can in this car. This is a very good car. They did the Brabham proud. Australian racing car. So I think they did an amazing job on this car when they coded it. I love it. So I was a little bit surprised how tight I get on time. Obviously, I could have pushed this a little bit more, but yeah, I know some people are going to be having trouble with this race because how difficult I found it. So staying really low, you want to take the shortest distance around this track. Here we're going to go to the far right to set up the bus stop. And watch how early I get back to the throttle. Very early. Pretty well at that right. So at the second corner of the bus stop. And I'm a little bit worried as I'm looking at my clock. Like, gosh, I'm a ways away from the start-finish line yet. No way you can care about your lead. Don't worry about it at this point. You just need to finish this race. 5, 4. Like, yikes, guys. I was getting worried. Down to the zeros. Woo! I made it, though. And that's it. That's all we're going to show you. The last race is a joke of a race. It's a long elimination race. 100 seconds per car. So there you go. Please like. Please subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this. Check out some of the videos. I have all sorts of great stuff. And hope you enjoy your Brabham VT62.